Have you ever felt like your energy is fading faster than it used to? Or that your body isn't quite bouncing back the way it did a few years ago? Maybe you've caught yourself looking in the mirror and wondering when those lines around your eyes started showing up. If any of that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Aging is something we all go through, but how we age, that part is surprisingly within our control. Some people seem to defy time, staying mentally sharp, physically active, and glowing with energy even in their 70s and 80s. What's their secret? Well, science is beginning to unlock some pretty exciting answers. And the best part, these answers aren't hidden in expensive pills or fancy treatments. They're right in your kitchen. That's right, certain everyday foods have been shown to slow down the effects of aging in real, measurable ways. In fact, Harvard research points out that what we eat can impact everything from our skin and bones to brain function and longevity. In today's video, we're going to explore the 5 key foods that could stop aging effectively. And trust me, you'll want to stay until the end, because the last food we're covering might just surprise you the most. It's something most people overlook, yet it could have a huge impact on how you feel every single day. Before we begin, just a quick disclaimer. This video is for informational purposes only and is based on publicly available research. Everyone's health is different, so always consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your lifestyle, diet, or exercise routine. Scientific knowledge is always evolving, and what works for one person may not work for another. Alright, now that we've got that covered, let's dive into the first powerhouse food that could help you age more gracefully from the inside out. Let's start with something simple, but incredibly powerful: berries. Whether it's blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, or blackberries, these little fruits are absolutely packed with antioxidants, especially anthocyanins. These compounds help protect our cells from oxidative stress, a major contributor to aging. Think of oxidative stress like rust for the body. It slowly breaks things down over time, from your skin's elasticity to your brain's memory centers. One fascinating study from the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that regular consumption of blueberries may improve memory in older adults. And get this, another study from Harvard followed over 16,000 women for more than 2 decades. It showed that those who ate more berries had slower rates of cognitive decline, by as much as 2.5 years. But the benefits don't stop there. Berries are also rich in vitamin C, which supports collagen production. That's the protein that keeps your skin firm and smooth. I have a friend named Maria. She's in her mid-60s and swears by her morning bowl of Greek yogurt with a mix of berries on top. She told me, "I don't just feel better, I look better. My skin has a glow again." And if you're worried about sugar, don't be. The natural sugars in berries are balanced by fiber, which helps regulate blood sugar levels and supports gut health. So, adding a handful of berries to your breakfast or blending them into a smoothie, that's not just a treat, it's a strategy for long-term wellness. Now let's move on to the second food that deserves a spot on your plate every single week: fatty fish. Think salmon, sardines, or mackerel. These types of fish are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are essential for brain function, heart health, and even joint mobility. You've probably heard about omega-3s before, but did you know they can actually slow the shortening of telomeres? Telomeres are like the protective tips at the ends of your DNA strands, and shorter telomeres are associated with faster aging. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA, found that people with higher omega-3 levels had significantly longer telomeres. That's like protecting the blueprint of your body at a cellular level. And then there's inflammation, one of the biggest drivers of aging-related diseases like arthritis, heart disease, and even Alzheimer's. Omega-3s are anti-inflammatory superheroes. They help calm the fire before it causes damage. I knew a retired teacher named Paul who started eating grilled salmon twice a week after a knee injury. Not only did he notice less stiffness, but he also said he felt clearer mentally. He said, "I don't know if it's just the fish or the fact that I'm eating better overall, but I feel like my brain fog is lifting." If salmon isn't your thing, try sardines or trout, or even a high-quality fish oil supplement if needed. But whenever possible, go for the whole food. The nutrients in fish don't work in isolation. They work in harmony, just like your body does. Now that we've covered these essential first foods, let's move on to something just as important. How small daily changes can add years to your life. Because what you eat doesn't just fuel your day, it shapes your future. So now that we've talked about berries and fatty fish, you're probably starting to see just how powerful food can be. Not just for how we feel today, but for how we age tomorrow. What we put on our plates really can become our strongest line of defense against aging. And the best part, you don't need to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Just a few consistent changes can add up in a big way. Now let's talk about one of the most underestimated, but incredibly powerful, foods in the anti-aging toolbox: leafy greens. Yes, I'm talking about spinach, kale, arugula, Swiss chard, all those vibrant, nutrient-packed greens we sometimes push to the side of our plates. Turns out, they could be one of the most important foods for long-term health and vitality. In fact, a study published in Neurology found that people who ate just one serving of leafy greens per day had brains that looked 11 years younger on scans. 11 years. That's not a small difference. That's the kind of shift that can help keep you sharp and independent for years longer. Why are leafy greens so effective? For starters, they're packed with folate, vitamin K, lutein, and beta-carotene. These nutrients support everything from brain function to bone density. Vitamin K, for example, is crucial for preventing bone fractures, something that becomes increasingly important as we age. And lutein? That helps protect your eyes from age-related vision decline. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. I've never liked the taste of greens. And hey, I get it. I used to feel the same way. But here's a little trick. Start small. Toss a handful of spinach into a smoothie. Mix some kale into your pasta sauce. Roast up some Brussels sprouts with a drizzle of olive oil and a pinch of sea salt. They get all crispy and delicious. My neighbor, Linda, had never been into vegetables. She called herself a meat and potatoes kind of woman. But after her doctor mentioned her bone density was starting to decline, she decided to try adding more greens into her meals. Within a few months, she felt more energetic and even noticed fewer joint aches. She told me, "It's like I finally gave my body what it was asking for." And speaking of giving your body what it needs, this next food might be the most fun one yet. Because it involves one of the simplest, most comforting things in the world: dark chocolate. Yes, you heard that right. Chocolate can actually help slow aging. But not just any chocolate. We're talking about high-quality dark chocolate, ideally with at least 70% cocoa content. That's where the magic happens. Dark chocolate is rich in flavonoids, which are powerful plant compounds known to improve blood flow, reduce inflammation, and even protect the skin from UV damage. One study published in the British Journal of Nutrition found that people who consumed dark chocolate regularly had significantly better skin hydration and less wrinkling compared to those who didn't. Plus, dark chocolate supports heart health. The flavonoids help relax blood vessels and reduce blood pressure. Two big wins for anyone looking to stay active and vibrant as they age. I met a woman at a wellness retreat once. Her name was June, and she was 78 years old, but had the energy of someone half her age. She told me her non-negotiable was a square of dark chocolate every evening. "It's my little reward," she said with a smile, "and it keeps me happy and healthy." Now, of course, moderation is key. A small square or two is plenty. But if you've ever needed an excuse to enjoy some chocolate guilt-free, now you've got one backed by science. Now, I know some people worry about making changes when they've already lived decades a certain way. Maybe you're thinking, it's too late for me to change. But let me tell you, it's never too late. There was a study published in the journal Cell Metabolism that showed people in their 60s and 70s who made small dietary improvements, like cutting back on processed foods and adding more fiber, actually saw measurable changes in their gut microbiome within just 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That's how quickly your body can start responding to better choices. And that brings me to the next food on our list, something humble, often overlooked, but unbelievably powerful: beans. Beans might not sound glamorous, but they're a staple in nearly every culture known for longevity, from the Okinawans in Japan to the Sardinians in Italy. In fact, people who live in so-called blue zones, the regions of the world with the highest concentration of centenarians, eat beans almost daily. Why are beans such a big deal? They're high in plant-based protein, loaded with fiber, and they're rich in polyphenol. compounds that fight inflammation and support healthy aging. Plus, they're incredibly filling, which helps with weight management and stable energy throughout the day. A study from the Journal of the American College of Nutrition found that just a half cup of beans daily was associated with a 22% lower risk of heart disease. And another study linked higher bean consumption with lower rates of type 2 diabetes and certain cancers. And they're versatile. Whether it's lentil soup, black bean tacos, or chickpeas tossed into a salad, beans can fit into just about any meal. One man I know, he's in his early 80s now, told me he eats lentils every day because they keep me regular and give me energy to keep up with my grandkids. That's motivation if I've ever heard it. So we've talked about berries, fatty fish, leafy greens, dark chocolate, and beans, foods that are simple, accessible, and scientifically proven to help fight aging from the inside out. But food is just one part of the puzzle. It's powerful, yes, but how you live your life each day matters just as much. Things like movement, mindset, social connection, these are the habits that bring those healthy years to life. Now that we've covered nutrition and the science of food, let's talk about something just as important: how to stay motivated and overcome the challenges that come with aging. Because let's be honest, it's not always easy. Sometimes we get tired. Sometimes we feel discouraged. But here's the truth: you're stronger than you think. If you're enjoying this so far and want more simple, science-backed tips to stay healthy as you age, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We share helpful videos just like this every week. So whether you're 40 or 80, you'll always find something here that supports your best life. Now, we've already covered some of the most powerful foods that can support healthy aging: berries, fatty fish, leafy greens, dark chocolate, and beans. But let's be real, knowing what to eat is only part of the journey. The real challenge? Sticking with it, especially when life gets busy, motivation dips, or your body doesn't feel like cooperating. That's why this next part is all about overcoming the everyday challenges that come with aging. Because aging doesn't just affect your body. It touches your energy, your emotions, your confidence. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to define you. Let me tell you about someone who truly inspired me. His name is Paul. He didn't start exercising regularly until he was 72. Yep, 72. Before that, he'd struggled with low energy and chronic knee pain for years. But one day, after seeing a story about a 90-year-old marathon runner, something clicked. He thought, if she can do that, surely I can go for a walk. He started small, 10-minute strolls around the block. Then he added gentle stretches. A few months later, he worked up to light strength training using resistance bands. Now, he's 76, doing squats, walking 2 miles a day, and says he sleeps better than he has in decades. I asked him what changed most, and he said, I feel 10 years younger. But more than that, I feel like myself again. And guess what? The science backs up what Paul experienced. A study from Johns Hopkins University found that even adding just 10 extra minutes of movement per day can reduce the risk of early death. Just 10 minutes. That could be walking while you talk on the phone, doing some stretches during a TV commercial, or dancing while you're cooking dinner. And it doesn't have to be perfect. The goal isn't to become a fitness influencer. It's to keep your body strong enough to do the things you love. Gardening, traveling, playing with your grandkids, feeling confident in your skin. But let's not stop with movement. Let's talk about something just as powerful and often overlooked when we think about aging well: your mindset. You see, a big part of staying youthful isn't about what's happening to your body. It's about what's happening in your mind. Studies show that people with a positive view of aging actually live, on average, 7.5 years longer than those with a more negative outlook. That's right. Just how you think about aging can impact how long and how well you live. Isn't that incredible? A woman I once met at a wellness seminar, her name was Dorothy, had this radiant joy about her. She was 84, wore bright colors, and had this laugh that just made you smile. She said, every morning I tell myself, today I get to be alive. That attitude was contagious. She believed that every day was a gift. And honestly, you could see it in how she moved, how she talked, how she carried herself. She didn't just survive her 80s, she was thriving in them. That mindset? That's something we can all practice, no matter where we're starting from. Of course, motivation isn't always easy. Some days are harder than others. Pain, fatigue, even loneliness. These are real struggles, especially as we get older. But they're not the end of the story. In fact, research from the National Institute on Aging shows that maintaining social connections is one of the most powerful predictors of longevity. Being around people who uplift you, share a laugh with you, check in on you, that kind of connection can lower stress, reduce the risk of depression, and even protect your brain. So here's a gentle challenge: reach out. Call a friend. Join a local walking group. Volunteer at a community garden. Attend a class, whether it's art, cooking, or Tai Chi. The goal isn't perfection, it's participation. It's presence. That's what keeps the heart and mind young. And remember, it's not about how fast you move, it's that you keep moving. It's not about eating perfectly every single day, it's that you keep choosing foods that nourish you. It's not about being 25 again, it's about being the strongest, happiest, most energized version of you right now. I also want to take a moment to talk about sleep, because this is one area so many people overlook when thinking about aging. Poor sleep can accelerate everything from weight gain to memory issues to inflammation. But the good news? Improving your sleep might be one of the easiest wins in your anti-aging plan. Try going to bed and waking up at the same time every day. Keep the bedroom cool and dark. Avoid screens at least 30 minutes before bed. And here's a food tip too. Cherries, especially tart cherries, are naturally rich in melatonin, the hormone that helps regulate sleep. Add them to your evening snack and see how your body responds. Because here's the truth. When you sleep well, your body gets to repair itself. Your cells regenerate. Your brain organizes memories. Your immune system resets. Sleep is nature's ultimate reset button. And I want to say this again. No matter where you're starting, it is never too late to feel better, to move more, to eat smarter, to love deeper. To wake up feeling like the best is still to come. You have the power, right now, to influence how you age. And not with some secret formula or expensive regimen. Just with simple choices. A bowl of berries in the morning. A walk after dinner. A deep breath when you're feeling stressed. A call to someone you love. So take a moment. Reflect on what you've learned so far. You're not just aging, you're evolving, growing, becoming wiser, stronger, and more connected to yourself and your purpose. And that brings us to the final part of this journey, where we'll pull everything together, reflect on the key takeaways, and offer you one last empowering push to live your healthiest life, starting today. Let's take a deep breath together. You've just gone on a journey through some of the most powerful foods and habits that can support healthy aging. From brain-loving berries to dark chocolate indulgences, and from the strength-building power of beans to the joy of simply staying connected. And maybe by now you're feeling something shift, not just in what you know, but in what you believe is possible for you. Because here's the truth. Aging doesn't mean losing your health. It means taking charge of it in a smarter, more intentional way. Now, if there's one message I hope you carry with you from this video, it's this: your health is in your hands. And no matter your age, no matter your past, you can start making choices today that move you toward a stronger, more energized, more joyful version of yourself. Let's quickly reflect on what we've explored together. We started with berries, nature's antioxidant-rich gift. They protect your brain, support your heart, and help your skin glow with vibrancy. Just a cup a day could make a lasting impact over time. Then we dove into fatty fish, rich in omega-3s, critical for your heart, brain, and mood. If you've ever felt foggy or fatigued, adding fish like salmon or sardines a couple of times a week could be a game changer. Next came leafy greens, simple, powerful, and packed with nutrients like vitamin K, lutein, and folate. Just a handful a day might keep your mind sharper and your bones stronger for years to come. Then we gave a little love to dark chocolate. Yes, dark chocolate, full of flavonoids that help with blood flow, skin health, and even emotional well-being. Just 1 or 2 squares a day can be part of a heart-healthy, age-supportive routine. And finally, beans, the humble superfood found in every longevity hotspot around the globe. They provide fiber, protein, and blood sugar stability. Plus, they're satisfying, affordable, and easy to prepare. It's not about perfection. It's about pattern, consistency, small, doable choices made over time. And let's not forget the lifestyle pieces that tie it all together: movement, sleep, connection, and mindset. These aren't just extras, they're the foundation. The way you live your life each day becomes the environment your body lives in. So why not make it as nourishing, joyful, and kind as possible? I'll never forget a woman who once wrote to us after watching one of our videos. She said, "I used to believe my best years were behind me, but now I'm starting to believe the best ones might still be ahead." That message? That's the heartbeat of everything we're doing here. Because this isn't about chasing youth. It's about embracing your power and realizing that aging can be beautiful, vibrant, and full of meaning. In fact, according to renowned public health expert Dr. Michael Greger, many of the most common chronic diseases associated with aging, like heart disease, diabetes, and even certain cancers, are largely preventable through simple lifestyle and dietary choices. That means that you have more control than you may have ever realized. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need fancy supplements or expensive health routines. What you need is a decision to honor your body, nourish your mind, and show up for yourself in small, consistent ways. Imagine what could happen if you simply committed to adding a serving of leafy greens to lunch, swapping out sugary snacks for berries or a few squares of dark chocolate, taking a short walk after dinner, reaching out to someone you care about just to say hello, setting your phone down a bit earlier and letting your body rest. These things may seem small, but when they become your daily rhythm, your health begins to transform. Your energy shifts, your confidence builds, your outlook brightens, and maybe most importantly, you start to realize that you're not just aging, you're thriving. So here's one last challenge for you. Starting today, pick just one thing, one small step. Maybe it's swapping that afternoon cookie for a bowl of blueberries. Maybe it's stretching while your coffee brews. Maybe it's finally scheduling that catch-up call with a friend you miss. Just one thing. Write it down, commit to it, and watch what happens. Before we go, I want to thank you for spending this time with me. The fact that you're here, still watching, still listening, that means something. It means you care. It means you're ready. And I want you to know, I see that, I honor that, and I believe in you. We'd really love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions for future topics or questions you want answered, write to us in the comments below. We're here to help, and your input could inspire our next video. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on more practical tips for healthy aging. We're building a community of people who want to live better, not just longer, and you're a part of that. Here's to living your best life at any age. Here's to vibrancy, to strength, to joy. Here's to you.